Today, match week 37 and a couple makeup games in the books. City dropping points at West Ham. Could have taken all three. We'll dive into that. Liverpool, however, do take all three, leaving it to the last day. Can Liverpool do it? Will City blow it? Chelsea confirmed top 4 status with a draw. They also confirmed top 3, so they grind their way to that. Tottenham, Arsenal, duking out for top 4. Some change at the bottom of the table for relegation. Everton confirmed safe. All that and everything else in between on this episode of the Premiership Perusal podcast.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs, and the ball in behind Damian Varney! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Varney!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
Live.
Wow.
Just like that. It's gone in a flash,
It's
folks.
gone. All but one match week left. The final match week 38, championship
Honestly,
Sunday.
even though it's the end of the season, second best day of the season, start is the best.
Yeah.
The match is all in one day. That's second best. My humble.
I think for me it's
Opinion.
Boxing Day.
That's pretty good too.
Love
Can't
me
go
some
wrong with
Boxing
that.
Day. Nice holiday footy.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Up to Burnley.
Was better when you had
Come on, Burnley. Come on, Burnley.
better when you had like school and then you'd for sure have the next day off
Yeah. Now
after
we're just
Christmas.
losers.
Yeah, working
Productive
jobs.
members of society.
Well, speak for yourself.
Well, I'm speaking for you.
That's not true.
Yeah. He's out here selling cars. Ain't they used car salesman?
Hey, how's it doing? How you doing? How you doing? I should have a sponsor at Burnley Stadium at Turf Moor.
Hank's Cars. Hank's Auto.
Hank's Auto.
So why don't we get into some of these games?
Speaking of Burnley,
Speaking
we got
of
Burnley on the mind because they were playing.
I mean,
Tottenham
when don't we?
Hotspur.
Honestly. We love Burnley.
When I'm forced to not think about Mike Jackson, then I can't think about Burnley.
No.
Otherwise, I'm always thinking about Mike Jackson.
Yeah, always. Into the lineups for Tottenham. Lloris, Sanchez, Dyer, Davies, Højbjerg, Royale, Sessegnon, Bentancur, Son, Kane, Mora. For Burnley, Pope, Loughton, Charlie Taylor, Roberts, Connor Roberts, Nate Collins, Kevin Long, Jack Cork, Josh Brownhill, Dwight McNeil, Ashley Barnes, and Maxwell Cornet.
Maxi Cornet. This game is boring.
Yeah, this game, Tottenham do what Tottenham do, and that's don't really attack that much until they score. But they started off the game. Kane, 17th minute, had a header cleared off the line by Nate Collins. Tottenham holding all the possession, but not really doing anything. Cornet, great chance. He has a one-on-one shot with the keeper, but he's unable to convert the chance. Really big let off when you get Cornet one-on-one.
It doesn't even feel like he's their leading goal scorer because he's just started to miss all these chances.
Yeah, it does feel like he's
been wasteful.
been on a cold spell.
Yeah, for a bit. Is he the new Mikel Antonio?
It might be. First half player. Burnley, we're somewhat into the game, but obviously not really creating too many chances.
Into it as in they defend and they get about 2 or 3 chances a game, and you hope for the best.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's all you can ask for when you're Burnley.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just before halftime, Kane has a chance, go just wide. And then there's a penalty awarded just on the final kick of the half, really. This was a continuation on that play. Penalty given for a handball on Ashley Barnes upon further VAR review.
Yep.
Kane steps up, converts the penalty, as you would expect. That's tough for Burnley, giving up the penalty.
Right before half, the momentum changer.
Half. Yeah. Second half, there's some chances for...
It's slightly more Burnley at times than the first half, but it's, I guess, more even than the first half, where it was mainly Tottenham.
Yeah. Barnes had a good chance, hit the post from distance, and then Nick Pope came up with a big save on Son, and then another nice save on Son in the 81st minute. Tottenham holds on to get the 3 points, a 1-0 victory at
Big
home
for him.
to Burnley.
Had to do it. Felt like a trap game.
Yeah, you got to watch out for Burnley. They'll get you.
Yeah. So Burnley also needing results at this junction of the season.
Yes.
Guess what? They don't get it here.
They did not. Next game of the match week.
Oh, yeah, Villa Palace. This is one of those games that I love. Except I watched it and I didn't love it that much. It was just okay. To the lineups: Emi Martinez, Matty Cash, Mr. Konsa, Mr. Mings, Mr. Digne, who's been playing a whole lot better lately for Villa, Luis McGinn, Marvelous, Coutinho, Watkins, and Ings. For Palace, we have Butland, Mitchell, Guehi, Kriate, Anderson, Klein, Milivojevic, Etze, Gallagher, Zaha, Mateta. A little more defensive out of Palace in this lineup. You know, early on, Danny Ings, he was getting some chances. They were only half chances, but he's still getting some chances, getting a little bit of service. Could have done a little better, but not the easiest of chances. Kind of felt like Villa's out on the front foot early. Then it kind of just morphed more into a midfield battle between the two sides, which side could dominate. And honestly, it's virtually even. It always felt like Palace was one pass away from a really good chance. They just could never get that last one to get them in the box. Mm-hmm. Villa close to getting in behind Palace, going with a lot of through balls over the top balls. Palace's defense, which has looked a lot better, kind of holding up, which you like to see. Ings, big chance right before half, puts it high. And then second half, Mr. House, injury, pause, pretty tough one for him. Subbed off, just as your guy. They're trying to rest your guy, Mr. Callum Chambers. You don't want to run him
Can only
dry.
play one game and then
you
back
can't
to the bench.
Can't run him dry out here. He's playing quite a bit. Gallagher chance saved by Martinez. Then Digne dimes up Watkins. Great strength by Watkins in the tussle with Guehi. I believe that was the first goal, wasn't it? Wasn't it Watkins? It was.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a nice play by Mr. Watkins. Back and forth for most of the half. Set piece originally cleared out to the wing, sent back in, and a headed pass to a delayed run finds Mr. Schlupp for a tap-in equalizer. Jeffrey Schlupp. Sam's guy. Sam's Leicester City legend out here. Villa responds, some good play, create a few chances towards the end, and then they really pour it on at the very end. Digne and McGinn, all with great chances. Watkins, too, has a good one. Buendia even. So they really poured it on at the end, but to no avail. Finishes 1-1.
A bit of foreshadowing to their next match of the match week.
Yeah.
Very similar performance out of Villa. Yeah, both sides not really having much to play for in this game.
It's just a matter of kind of building finishing strong, building a platform for next year. Even if the form's not necessarily going to carry over, it's still something to look back on and realize that's what you should be striving for. But Palace has been playing a lot better lately. Villa's still pretty much their form the whole year, where it's like sometimes it looks really good, sometimes it looks really bad.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of frustration out of Villa.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
And moving on to the next match, Leeds versus Brighton. Big implications for Leeds in this match. To the lineups. For Leeds, Meslier, Firpo, Koch, Cooper, Llorente, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Harrison, Phillips, Click, Joe Gelhardt. For Brighton, Sanchez, Cucurella, Dunk, Veltman, Bissouma, Trossard, Solly March, Caicedo, Mac Allister, Pascal Gross, and Danny Welbeck. Yeah, he's the return of the Mac Allister.
Turn up the Mac.
You can't tell me it's McAllister because he's got a space in his name. It's Mac.
It's true. This is true. This cannot be denied.
Oh, he's McAllister.
Mac Allister.
This game was actually pretty entertaining because both sides were up for the match. Some good energy. Brighton have been on a good spell of form.
Yeah, I was going to say, shit Brighton, it might have been a kind of poor game to watch. But when Brighton have it going, they're a fun team.
Yeah. Both sides having a couple early chances. And then early goal, 21st minute, Danny Welbeck with the little dink over Meslier to take the lead. Leeds are really struggling. Their back line in shambles. Any ball in behind was just getting through. And it looked like it was only a matter of time before Brighton opened up the scoring.
Yeah, Brighton had some chances early on, but I mean, they weren't that great of chances. It was more about just getting the ball to the guy in the right position. In this case, with Welbeck, he was in behind and through.
One of my highlights of the game was in the 24th minute. Rodrigo completely passes to no one, and the fans went absolutely insane. They were on edge to start the game, and then to go down 1-0.
When you're making plays like that after going down 1-0.
Yeah, not good. Towards the end of the first half, Mr. Bobby Sanchez makes a nice save off of a well-worked corner routine from Leeds. Goes into halftime, 1-0. Second half, Rafinha has a good chance. Nice free kick saved by Sanchez. Leeds looking a lot better in the second half. A little more coherent and less shambolic in defense. Rafinha with another chance shortly after goes just wide. Brighton with a couple of opportunities to put this one to bed. The biggest one being Danny Welbeck has an open header, but he misses it wide somehow.
He can only be so good and score so many goals.
Yeah, and then it just the switch is flipped, and it's like there's nothing.
Yes,
there's nothing at all. Getting towards the end of the game, in the second minute of added time, Joey Gelhardt pops a ball to the back post where Struijk is running in to grab the equalizer. Great piece of individual play from Joe Gelhardt during that clutch moment to find Gelhardt to find Struijk.
He got jacked of his goal early in the game. He had the goal virtually cleared off the line by his own teammate.
Yes, he did.
Brutal.
Brighton nearly get the winner in the 97th minute through Tyrk Lamptey.
It was a rip. Just wide.
Finishes 1-1. Very entertaining match.
Yeah, it really was.
It's a point for Leeds.
Yeah, I think I called the 2-2 draw on this one. So a little off, but
it very well could have been 2-2.
Both defenses able to hold up. And the attacking, not the best. Clearly not taking advantage of the chances, but yeah, you feel the way Leeds need it versus the way Brighton's been playing. It felt kind of even. And honestly, the way it played out, it maybe favored Brighton a bit, but, I don't think a draw is an egregious outcome.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games where it could have gone any way, really. A win, loss, or draw for either side.
Yeah. Moving on. Next game, who we got? Watford, Leicester. Way too much happened in this game for a Watford-Leicester game. To the lineups: Foster, Ngakia, Messina, Cathcart, Kebisele, Gosling, Sissoko, Kayembe, João Pedro, Kensema, Mr. Samuel Kalu, Danny Ward for Leicester. How about that?
Wow, it's about time.
Justin, Fofana, Evans, and by Justin I mean Justin James, not James Justin. Evans, Castagna, Barnes, Tielemans, Madison, Mendy, Dewsbury, Hull, and Jamie Vardy.
Jamie Vardy's having a party.
Yeah, anyone could have a party against Watford's trash-ass defense right now. Watford start early, and Leicester concede off the corner routine. What else is new? Tell me, Sam, what else is new? Leicester conceding off corners. Hey, how has this guy not been fired? Whoever their set piece defending.
They need to make some changes. It's been god-awful.
Messina off the bar on another corner. So that Watford was really piling on early, including a couple chances through João Pedro. He had like a hat-trick of chances early in the first half. Danny Ward, massive save early on. Leicester spawn some possession, pin Watford in, and then out of nowhere, just a long ball hoop forward, some comical defending out of Watford center backs, where they are just terrible, and ends up resulting in Madison ripping it on an empty net. So it's 1-1. Terrible giveaway by Kayembe. Madison sends it over the top to Vardy, who heads it over Foster, who is late getting out there. And just like that, Leicester have the lead in the 22nd minute. Sam's guy, Dan Gosling. Big chance. Curls it wide.
Newcastle legend.
Yeah. Bournemouth legend.
Bournemouth legend. Watford legend.
3 clubs you really want to play for: Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Watford.
The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, Leicester, they just had these chances where they move off the ball really well and pass fast. Case in point was the Castagna chance where he's wide and just gets a free shot. But, Watford didn't play like terrible. It was just 2 horrendous mistakes, and it immediately cost them the game. Second half, Leicester playing fast, nice little counterattack, striking in there. Results in a Barnes goal. And then Watford's attack this half just turned to absolute shit. Mainly their crossing. It was just so bad. It was really bad. Blast from Kieran Dewsbury Hall for a big chance. Watford's transition from attack to defense, just terrible in this. Harvey Barnes, diving header chance. It was just chances galore, really, in the second half for Leicester. João Pedro, probably the best chance for Watford in the second half in a 3-on-3. It feels like Watford are like, that's what they do. They get in those, like, even if it's even numbers or they have numbers advantage, it just generally, if they were to have stayed up this year, those have to be a goal like 50% of the time. And it feels like this year they scored on those maybe 20% of the time. Is that 10% of the time?
Yeah.
Just poor. Vardy gets a goal off an over-the-top ball from Mr. Barnes. Yeah, I mean, just sloppy giveaways to give Harvey Barnes. Leicester's 5th. Daka, great chance to make it 6. Great Foster save. It was all Leicester, this game. First half it was relatively even, but second half there was nothing for Watford. It was all Leicester. 5-1. We were a little conservative. I said 3-0. You said 2-0. We should have combined our scores.
Didn't factor in that it's Jamie Vardy Leicester. That's like a completely different team.
No, I tried to, but Watford's defense, that's what I didn't factor in. I didn't factor them in.
Yeah,
and
we
they're
should have
like,
known.
hold up.
We should have known. Already relegated Watford.
You know, I mean, for Leicester, this is something to build off of maybe for next year, as much as I hate to say it, because then they're going to loop us in again to thinking they're good. But, I mean, as long as you have Vardy,
That's the real question, though.
I don't know.
Do you have Vardy? Are you going to have him for more than a third of the season?
He should not be playing any Europa League games or any European competition. I do not care. He should be Premier League only.
True.
Because those are the Leicester games I watch.
He gets one exception. It's if they make it to the final, then he can play.
Yes, of course.
Other than that,
On
not allowed.
Yeah, in the reserves. Next match, West Ham, Man City.
Massive match.
Big one.
Implications.
Big one. The lineups: Fabianski, Cresswell, Zuma, Shufal, Dawson, Fornals, Lanzini, Bowen, Sushek, Rice, Antonio. Man City, we have Ederson, Zinchenko, Laporte, Fernandinho, Cancelo, Rodri, De Bruyne, Silva, Jesus, Grealish, Mahrez.
It's a pretty attacking lineup out of City there.
Yeah.
Not much defensive cover. Especially considering you got Fernandinho at center back.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of injuries at center back right now.
True that.
Maybe they should go spend 60 mil more on a couple of them.
Yeah, I agree.
First 20 minutes of this game, really just Man City struggling to break down West Ham. And, you know, I mean, West Ham had one or two chances on the counterattack. Man City, best chance to score, comes off a takeaway. Massive deflection, barely goes over the bar. And then ensuing corner leads to a Fernandinho rip just right over the bar. So it just felt like, this kind of felt like one of those games where it's like Man City's going to come real close to scoring and they just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Man City switch off and West Ham hit an over-the-top ball to Bowen, who dribbles Ederson. And it's just like that. It's 1-0 West Ham. Mr. Bowen, he shows what he can do.
The Giant Slayers, West Ham, in full force.
Man City thought that this form was gone, long gone, dead and gone.
No,
it's in their DNA. I thought that a great part of this when I was watching is they randomly just like cut to Tottenham like mid-game for a little bit. At least in the U.S. broadcast, it cut to like Kane like walking around the stadium clapping like that game had just ended, even though it didn't. It ended like an hour or two before. It was so strange.
All right, cheers for that.
Bowen gets his second goal kick, headed pass, and a through ball to Bowen, quite similar to the first one. And just like that, it is 2-0, and Pep is drinking a lot of water.
I need more water.
Twist the cap.
We need to
buy
watch your Bowen.
Yeah, and then he takes his sip, puts the cap back on, rubs his head a bit. Not Sean Dyche rubs his head, but he rubs his head just a bit.
Buys a new cardigan, a hoodigan. Sells Jack Gucci Grealish. Buys Jared Bowen. Buys center back. Sips water.
Just bald fraud things.
Just bald fraud.
2-0, West Ham at half. And second half, you were mentioning him just now, Gucci Grealish. Out of half. Ball into the box. Rodri heads it. Doesn't really seem like he knows where he's heading it to, but it just ends up kind of near the top of the box. And Jack Grealish slots it home.
Jack Gucci Grealish.
Did they pay $100 million to win the title just for him to score right there? Perhaps.
4D bald fraud chess.
Yes. Man City start to really pile it on. Big Kevin De Bruyne free kick chance, but sails it. You don't see that very often where he's wasteful with that. Bowen had side netting after a Man City giveaway. Antonio one-on-one missing the chip after a terrible Fernandinho giveaway. Man City had their chances, and those were their two main ones in the second half, and they just couldn't take it. Zinchenko had a nice shot, forced a save out of Fabianski. free kick chance, and Man City get an own goal from that Mahrez ball. Mr. Shoefall said, let me head it into my own net, please. Thank you. Dang. 2-2. Dang. Possession leads to a Rodri blast on net. West Ham really couldn't break out of their own half in the second half, but the chances before, and then Bowen had, I think, one late that looked to be going in, but was blocked by Laporte. Then strange sequence as Soufal goes down in the box and appears to be hurt, but they keep playing on. And Dawson fouls Jesus. VAR reverses the call because they said it originally wasn't a foul. Pen to Mahrez, and Mr. Mahrez has his penalty saved. It's kind of a shit pen. When it's like hip height, no matter which way you're putting it, that's bad. It's got to be on the ground or it's got to be roofed. When you're putting it hip height.
Yeah, that's just asking for it to get saved.
Yeah, especially if you're, because when guys are diving, they're literally going to be
right,
like horizontal with where their hips would be. That's where they're strongest.
If I was a goalkeeper, I would lay on the ground and slide over.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pop up, like off the ground. Finishes 2-2. City, 1 point ahead of Liverpool, get to the Liverpool match that they win, but 90-89 is what we're looking at.
Whew.
We'll break down more of the table.
Purposely did a terrible penalty just for the storyline.
Wow. What a legend.
Yeah, legend.
Speaking of legends.
Speaking of legends and legendary games and title implications and games that mean a lot, this was not one of those. That's right. We're talking about Wolves versus Norwich.
Tell them the 31,000 people that showed up to this.
Yeah, I don't think that's an accurate number. To the lineups for Wolves.
John Ruddy revenge game.
John Ruddy revenge game. The man, the myth, the legend, ages like a fine wine. 35 years young.
I'm just glad he has number 21. That's a nice number.
Yeah.
And he has that as the backup keeper. He's like sitting on that. He's like, yeah, no, I'm number 21.
Yeah,
he didn't pick like number 48.
He's the big ticket of English football. Willie Bally, Cody, Totti, Ait Nouri, Neves, Johnny, Moutinho, Neto, Jimenez.
Johnny Moutinho.
And Wang Hee-chan.
Where's Chiquinho?
Where's Chiquinho? Free Chiquinho.
Did they both wear their yellow kits?
No, they didn't.
I wish they would have.
They didn't. Norwich wore their green ones, I think.
The like black and teal.
Yeah. For Norwich, Agnes Gunn.
Yes, come on.
As Hank would say, not Angus. Angus beef.
No.
Byram, Gibson, Hanley, Aarons, Gilmore, Norman, Yanulis, Dowell, Lise Malou, and Timo Pukki. That's kind of your shtick, is to like pronounce goalkeepers' names wrong.
Yeah, we just throw it out.
Hey, Rudy.
Ederson.
John Rudy.
John Rudy.
John Rudy. Oh, this was quite the game. Norwich.
I don't think you have enough notes on this.
Norwich had their chances. Let me tell you. Pukki had a string of chances in the first half alone. 10 minutes in, he's hitting on the break. He has a chance go wide. And then 15 minutes, another one-on-one with the keeper.
Another one.
This time he shoots it straight at John Ruddy.
Rudy.
Two chances. Rudy. Two chances that easily could have been converted. So disappointing from a Norwich perspective. But in the 37th minute, Pukki finally scores with a slow roller. And I don't know how he scored this because there were two defenders on him.
Teemu Pukki's so good.
And somehow he scored this one, but can't score a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Really, Wolves not looking very good in this first half. I mean, it says by the fact that...
Yeah, you're down to Norwich.
Norwich has all these chances. Single-handedly getting carried by Timo Pukki. Goes into halftime, 1-0 Norwich. Second half, Wolves get the equalizer in the 54th minute. Ait Nouri scores after a scramble in the box. Kind of a crap goal, but a goal nonetheless. 58th minute, great diving header from Neto on a awesome ball from Mr. Chiquinho, who got subbed on and was looking pretty
Mighty
good.
fine.
Yeah. Brought some good life to the Wolves side. Nice hit by Gunn on that one. 60th minute, Pookie with a chance to grab a second goal, but again, he puts it wide. From then on, Wolves are in attack, but kind of like early in the season where they are in attack.
It's stinky.
It's terrible, yeah.
Oh, stinky.
Yeah.
Wolves.
So that one ends 1-1. And,
And that's an hour and a half of your life you'll never get back.
yep, sure is. Sure is. We'll just move on to the next game.
Oh, this one at least meant something. We called it last week. We said Everton would draw one of their games against Brentford and then lose the other against Palace. One of those two they'd draw, one they would lose. Here comes their loss. Pickford, Holgate, Coleman, Branthwaite, Decore, Iwobi, Mikolenko, Andre Gomez, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Anthony Gordon for Brentford, Raya, Ayer, Henry, Janssen, Sorensen, Norgard, Jensen, Eriksson, Wissa, Tony, and Mbuemo. Let me tell you, Everton creating chances early, big chance early. Headed on from Calvert-Lewin to Gordon to Richarlison, who puts it wide. That man misses more sitters than anyone, I swear to God.
Yeah, now people are acting like he's good now.
It's because
he's definitely not.
people see one goal, and it's like,
Yeah,
have you looked at his conversion rate?
he's actually terrible.
Yeah, for the last couple of years, pretty much since he left Watford. But then again, when you get 50 mil price tag slapped on your head, you should be an elite striker. But what do we know? We're just some guys who hold Everton to a higher standard than 16th place. Everton's playing pretty simple. Go long for Calvert-Lewin. Have him kind of hold up play a little bit, maybe some quick passes out wide, but, win the ball in midfield, hold it up. And honestly, it was working. It wasn't too bad, which is kind of surprising against Brentford center backs that Calvert-Lewin able to do that. Gordon wins the free kick, takes the free kick, and Richarlison with a slight tap, and it goes far post. And it's another tap for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who gets the goal. Moments after that goal, Brentford trying to spring on the counter, and Branthwaite gets a red, clips Tony on the original over-the-top ball. After a no call on Ayer in the box, must be said there's some tugging going on between him and Richarlison. It's a little back and forth, so they weren't going to call that. Ensuing free kick that Tony won, Eriksson sends the free kick just wide. But right after that, Brentford start to really pour it on. They get their goal through a Wissa curler off Seamus Coleman's face for an own goal. Ends up, that makes it 1-1. And then Brentford pinning Everton in. But guess what? Everton, they go down. They get a penalty right before half. And who is it?
Richarlison, the pen merchant.
He's so good. He's so good. 2-1, Everton going into half. Second half, Brentford kind of start how they ended the first half, kind of pinning Everton in again. They equalize off a corner. Wissa flick to the far post, upper 90. It was really an insane header from Mr. Wissa. He might be, is he the best sub striker you can throw on and you'd have confidence in him scoring? We've been memeing on him for a while. It's like that he's he's the guy with the goals.
I don't feel confident, but he somehow gets the results. So, what can you do? I guess the ball
when Brentford's clicking, it's really Wissa's clicking too. Because when Brentford sucked and they subbed him on, he was just worthless out there.
Yes,
I think everything goes through Wissa.
It's all coming up, Wisa.
Brentford go down, have some possession. They take the lead as Rico Henry is in the middle of the box, running past Gordon and Iwobi. Great ball by Norgard onto Henry's head. Game opens up a bit for each side. Everton definitely start looking a little better after they lose the lead, but not really great chances until Everton win a free kick. And Doucouré at the back post, but Raya pushes it out for another corner. And then another big moment, Mr. Rondon, Sam's guy.
Brilliant
Sam's
tackle.
guy. Just for no reason, like 5 minutes after being subbed on, decides to get a red card.
Absolute brilliant.
Eriksson chance at the end, but had one cleared off the line. Well, he had chances, I guess, but that was the main one. Finishes 3-2. Brentford get the win. Keep finishing strong. They're a bunch of animals, Brentford. But they did get
That they
a
are.
big blow of bad news of Christian Eriksen hinting this week that he would like to delve into some Champions League football.
They always leave. They always leave.
Brentford bros, we got too cocky.
How could this happen to me?
Well,
Yeah, but Everton, 2 red cards, another loss.
why do you do this to yourself, Everton? You bring this upon yourself. Pain.
Yeah, an own goal. Did they lose or did they beat themselves? It's the real question.
They lost in my book.
They lost in Hank's book.
And they lost in the Premier League's books because it finished 3-2. Speaking of losing, Sam has some bad news for Sam and the rest of the Arsenal listeners.
Absolutely. We're talking about Newcastle versus Arsenal. A massive match on Monday. A vital match for Arsenal after coming off that demolishing from Tottenham. For Newcastle, the lineups: Dubravka, Schär, Target, Kraft,
Dubravka,
Burn, Dubravka,
please save us.
Dubravka, save us. Dubravka, save us. Joelinton, Sean Longstaff, Bruno G, Callum Wilson, ASM, and Miguel Almiron.
Where's the Miguel Almiron rap from that guy?
It might be there. I think there might just be one. For Arsenal, Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Tavares, Saka, Odegaard, Smith-Rowe, Elneny, Xhaka, and Nketiah. Big boost having Mr. Ben White back in the lineup. But really, it didn't make that much of a difference. The game started. Newcastle were just in control. I mean, the first half was a domination, 70% possession.
Yeah, they had Arsenal pinned for a lot of the game.
Arsenal pinned.
A lot of it too at the midfield was really bad for Arsenal's perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
Newcastle was just doing whatever they wanted to, and I mean, Newcastle have a good midfield. You're not going to be able to get away playing soft. And the physicality of this game by both sides was just nuts.
Yeah.
Guys going at it, going full throttle. Blood, sweat, teeth falling out of your mouth.
Yeah, Callum Wilson with the tooth knocked
The
out.
chomper.
Yeah, Newcastle were playing really well. Honestly, one of their best performances of this season, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal managed to hang on to halftime, keeping it 0-0. But it's not long after before Newcastle get on the score sheet. Through a Ben White own goal, hitting on the break. Not much Ben White could do there. It just kind of a
Yeah, it was either
last-ditch.
tap in for Wilson or he had to throw anything he could at it. Not
Yeah.
much he could do.
Yeah, you could just see the goal was coming. Newcastle looked very dangerous.
Which
in
I don't know.
attack.
It's kind of strange because it was more of a counterattack.
Yeah.
When they weren't really countering that much in the game. Like once in a while
Yeah.
they would, but it's mainly they kind of had Arsenal pinned in. And then they're just like, hey, we're going to swing this in here off a fat, juicy counter. And
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Arsenal, they came out of halftime and were trying to play a little more, get the ball farther up the field, but they paid for it
got him caught out.
on this one, especially, like you said, the midfield for Arsenal was not
Can we
good.
scroll down the midfield? I need to take a look here.
El Neni and Xhaka mostly.
Yeah, I don't remember them being out there.
Yeah, they were just getting completely outworked.
Not to mention,
by,
if you're gonna be pinned in your own defensive third, it's like Smith Rowe and Odegaard are not nearly gonna be as useful.
Right. Yeah, they were completely getting outworked and out-qualitied.
Outclassed by Mr.
outclassed
Jolinton and Bruno G. Bruno G.
Yeah, they were just.
I know
pinging
he
balls.
came in January. He might be up for signing of the year.
I mean, if Eddie Howe is up for manager of the year, so
Yeah.
why can't Bruno G?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arsenal were rumored to be interested in Bruno G, but they really could have used him in that game.
Yeah. The blonde bombshell.
Newcastle cap it off with a second goal just before the final whistle. 85th minute through who else?
Bruno G.
Bruno G. And just another absolute
Dagger
blow
to Arsenal.
And your favorite podcast host on the Premiership Perusal podcast. Just absolute depression.
Crying himself to sleep at night.
Crying in the club.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. It's really, really tough when you make it 36 weeks through the
Yeah.
season and you're thinking, oh, we got this. We got first we had the 3 games in hand, and then there was like, okay, yeah, now we can afford a loss to Tottenham, 4 points ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And you lose 2 off the trot. You lost those 3 games to Palace, Southampton, and Villa.
The
Or
Palace.
not Villa.
The Palace one. Oh, the
Brighton.
Southampton one was pretty rough too.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Brighton started playing better, but it kind of felt bad because Arsenal was also playing all right that game. It just
Yeah.
kind of felt bad. The one, I don't know if it makes it better or worse, but that Palace game, like, no one showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a tough one, but
Yeah,
Maybe
that was a
one's-
trap game.
yeah,
for
maybe
sure.
that's just the game you throw out, but you needed something out of either the Brighton game or
yeah.
Southampton game or something, because relying on beating Newcastle at the end of the years.
Yeah,
gonna be
Southampton.
tough.
That game was could have gone either
Doesn't
way.
someone play Newcastle important this week? Isn't it? It's like Leeds or Burnley, I think, play Newcastle.
Yeah, let's see. Burnley
Burnley, yeah,
at home.
but still.
Yeah. So, anyways, Arsenal pretty much guaranteed to finish in 5th place unless.
Don't rule out the Dean Smith spot. He still has to pass Watford, so he's not bottom of the table.
Well,
If he gets Norwich to not bottom of the table, would you give Dean Smith a B for a grade for what he's done at Norwich?
give him a C+. And he'll like that. All right, I'm going to say it here on the podcast. If somehow Norwich beats Tottenham.
You're buying a Norwich kit?
and Arsenal beat Everton, Arsenal finishes in 4th, I will buy a Norwich kit and wear it proudly.
Can't be Josh Sargent. It's got to be the black one, too.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
Or an orange keeper kit for their best player this year.
Angus Gunn.
I was going to say Agnes.
Agnes Gunn. Spell it. Agnes.
Yeah, spell his first name on the back of the kit. All right. Wow, disgusting picture of Jurgen Klopp that you just loaded up. Southampton, Liverpool.
The
To the
second
lineup.
half of the very important clash at the top.
To the lineups, Alex McCarty. See, there you go, mispronouncing the keeper's names again. Walker Peters, Lankow, Jack Stevens, Redmond, Salisu, Ward-Prowse, Tella, El Nuesi, Diallo, and Brauja. For Liverpool, we have Alisson, Konate, Alisson, Konate, Joe Gomez, Konstantinos Shamikas, Joel Matip,
Batting.
Jim Milner,
Jimmy Milner. Jimmy Milner.
Kurt-
Ding.
Curdy Jones, Kurt Jones, Harv Elliott,
Young Hov.
Bobby Firmino,
Bobby Ferrer.
Taki Minahino,
Arigato.
and Dio Jota.
Big Jota.
All right.
Oh,
Quite the rotated squad for Liverpool. 9 rotated players.
yeah, I was surprised. I mean, it's just as important as any other match, and they're going.
I think they're starting to
Subs.
finally feel some of the injury effects too that we've been talking about the entire year. It's a miracle that they made it through with this lack of depth. Not to mention they have a Champions League final to save up for.
Yeah.
Honestly, low rotation out of Southampton, but that's more kind of see where people are at. But Liverpool caught out early. Mr. Redmond gets a goal. Nice little run. Little curl action deflected off Milner. Could have been a foul before the goal. Jota and Liankau kind of just met together at the same time, but Liankau didn't really get the ball, and Jota, I think, was slightly on the ball. So
Yeah, there was some controversy about that.
yeah, I would say that was a foul. But Liverpool catch some breaks too, so what can you say?
Liverpool.
Exactly. Firmino scores, but he's offside. He's offside. Had a pretty good game this game other than that. Minamino gets himself a goal.
The revenge game.
Yeah, the near post goal. He still thinks it's 2020 or something out here.
Doesn't celebrate.
No,
Too
can't
much
do that
respect
against
for his former
Southampton.
club that he
Yeah.
played like 4 games for.
Yes. Jota, Jones, Firmino all have chances before half as Liverpool kind of pile it on in terms of possession. Can't score, though. 1-1 going in the second half. And it just really felt like Liverpool were really in control of this second half as well. Very much like the end of the first half. Elliott and Jota probably the best chances until Joel Matip scores once more. And once more, it is quite a strange, crappy goal. But what can you say? It goes in. 2-1. Liverpool win the game and pulls to within 1 point. All they need is City to drop points somehow and get a win in their final game against Wolves. We'll get to predictions to see if it happens, but the fact that Liverpool are this far, it's quite incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on to the next match with massive implications at the other end of the table.
We should really save this one for last.
Everton. Everton versus
Wow, that guy. That guy.
Everton versus Crystal Palace. Into the lineups for Everton: Pickford, Holgate, Keane, Coleman, Doucouré, Iwobi, Mikalenko, Gomez, Richarlison, DCL, and Anthony Ant-Man Gordon.
The Ant-Man.
For Palace: Jackie Butland, Dirk Mitchell, Mark Yehi, Joachim Anderson, Nathaniel Klein, Eze, Hughes, Schlupp, Ayew, Zaha, and Mateta. Getting into this match, what an absolute instant classic of a match.
Yeah.
Everton, of course, they're buzzing, high energy, frantic pace. The crowd, it might have been the loudest I've heard a crowd in a Premier League game. They were going absolutely mental at every single ball.
Yeah.
16th minute, Richarlison kicks off the action with a free kick that hits off the top of the crossbar. Nice attempt there. Then against a run of play, Crystal Palace pick up the first goal through Mateta with the free header.
Too big and too strong.
Just some
Bully ball.
some poor marking, honestly, out of Everton, I thought.
Well, I mean, that chance that he had against Sheamus. Did I send you that clip from the game where he just trucks him shoulder to shoulder to get him off the ball to start the counterattack? I feel like I did.
Yeah, you might have.
It was nuts. He just came up and hockey checked them against the boards, but there are no boards, and
Wow.
Sheamus went flying.
What can you say? Shoulder to shoulder.
Hey, it was clean. There's no doubt about it.
34th minute.
This, however, I don't know if it was clean.
A real head scratcher. Ayew comes flying in with the 2-footed leg breaker. femur breaker even. That's how high it was.
It's like right at his kneecap.
His kneecaps. The 2-footed on Anthony Gordon. Only given a yellow card. Some absolutely world-class Premier League officiating. Well done to Anthony Taylor and Mike Dean on VAR.
What can you say? I didn't see anything.
Anthony Taylor is supposed to be one of the best refs in the Premier League.
Not Tony Taylor, not for me.
That was an absolute joke. Honestly, this game was refereed quite poorly throughout. Shortly after, Palace pick up the second goal of the game, and it's an absolutely crap goal. Defensive blunder after defensive blunder
Yes.
from Everton.
Pickford not even in net by the end of it.
Pickford's flying out. This might have been, I think this is the one Coleman got the ball taken off of him.
Was it? I thought that was way earlier in the game, but I could be wrong.
No,
Either way.
This one Coleman got mugged off. I don't know if it was by Mateta, but really poorly done, poor giveaway, and then the defense was absolutely shambolic out of Everton. Pickford was all over the place.
Yeah.
So Everton fans not happy at this point. Go down 2-0 at halftime. Things are looking very bleak. Coming out of halftime, 54th minute, Holgate heads the set piece to Michael Keane, who
What
says,
a shot.
"Don't mind if I do."
Let me ping this real quick. Bottom corner outside of the boot.
Outside of the boot, he saved up. He was channeling all that crap football that he's played throughout the season for this one moment of pure euphoria. And at that point, you're thinking, oh,
Palace, bros. Not like this. Not in the face.
But Mateta has a big chance. Pickford comes up huge. He comes up vital a few times during the second half.
Big game player.
65th minute. This time, a potential red card for an Everton player. Calvert-Lewin comes flying in with the scissor tackle.
He thought he had it. He had full faith.
That should have been a red card. But somehow it wasn't. And then, who other than Richarlison to get the equalizer.
The man in form, obviously.
Very difficult level of skill to score this one while he was kind of falling backwards. Puts it past Jack Butland. And at that point, I
thought Jack Butland should have done better with that.
I agree completely.
It wasn't hit that hard. It was not really that far out of reach. I don't know.
Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, Calvert-Lewin scores the absolutely massive header from the set piece, a wonderful ball in, and the fans go absolutely mental. They're running onto the field.
And the game's not even over yet.
The game's not over. It's madness. Everton holds on for the final 10 or so minutes, and the fans storm onto the pitch. Absolute scenes at the Goodison.
The field won 16th place, and your club that spends 50 mil on strikers.
Everton secure safety for the 68th consecutive season.
One of our friends sent me a thing today saying that I don't remember if it was like Burnley and Leeds are like trying to appeal for like a points deduction.
Yes.
From Everton.
Financial.
Yeah.
Fair play issue.
Which, honestly, how is Everton not? They spend all this money on Richarlison, Sigurdsson, Klaassen, all these guys. Who have they sold? Who have they sold? What European competitions have they been into? Like,
yeah, they have. Over the past 3 years, they have like 300 million plus pounds worth of losses.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to only be able to have like 105 million pound loss over 3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that math works, but the odds of the Premier League doing anything
zero, because it's Everton. Yeah. Unfortunate. Leeds, Burnley, one of you have to duke out to the death.
Yeah, all to play for.
Yep. Speaking of that Burnley team.
Speaking of Burnley, let's see how they get there. Aston Villa versus Burnley, a rematch from just...
Literally a podcast ago.
A podcast ago. Lineups: Villa, Martinez, Cash, Mings, Chambers, Digne, Louise, McGinn, Buendia, Ramsey, Chukwuemeka, and Ollie Watkins. For Burnley, Nick Pope, Chuck Taylor, Tarkowski, Roberts, Collins, Long, Jack Cork, Brownhill, McNeil, Barnes, and Maxi Cornet. Interesting lineup here out of Aston Villa, just loading up on midfielders.
Yeah. Dropping the 2 strikers, adding another, really, honestly, a pair of guys to the midfield because they normally rock 3, but Buendia's kind of more attack-minded anyways, so it's like a pseudo kind of striker, almost like a false 9 guy, but he kind of goes all over the place.
Yeah. Getting into this game, Villa looking strong throughout the first 20 or so minutes. In the 17th minute, Nick Pope coming up big, as he always does. Nice save on John McGinn's curling effort from the corner kick. 26th minute, Cash has a nice chance go over, almost tucked it in.
It's cash.
In the upper 90.
It's made cash money.
McGinn has another chance, saved by Pope. And then towards the end of the first half, penalty awarded to Burnley after Buendia makes a terrible tackle.
Yeah, what was going through his mind where he thought that was going to work? He's like, I'm going to sprint right at him. I'm just going to run right at him. Surely he won't make a cut or anything in the box with the ball at his foot.
There should be no point when Buendia is tracking back into his own box. It just shouldn't happen.
He wants to show his work rate for Stevie G, and instead he immediately gives a penalty.
Has the opposite effect. Ashley Barnes steps up, scores. Burnley go into half.
I'll say it right now. Fuck that guy forever.
Yeah, not a fan of Ashley Barnes.
No. Speaking of leg breakers, man.
He's broken a few in his day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burnley lucky to find themselves up 1-0 at the half, but they'll take it. Villa looked the much better side.
Mm-hmm.
That showed 48th minute. Buendia fixes his mistakes, gets the equalizer. Wonderful first-time volley. Absolutely beautiful ball in from John McGinn.
Yeah, super nice. McGinn is really, I think he's just pushing for a move at this point. He might as well come out and say he is. The way he's playing is
He wants
wild.
that United spot.
He probably does. He probably does.
Yeah. Martinez has a nice save on Josh Brownhill, which was kind of...
This is a nice shot. Low, hard one.
Good effort from Josh Brownhill.
Your guy.
Yeah.
A lot of your guy
I
references,
do
I
like
think.
Mr. Josh
That's
Brownhill.
an unironic your guy.
Yes.
The other ones. Solomon Rondon, not so much.
Yeah. What a legend, though. I respect the 5 minutes getting subbed on and
Like getting a red.
just rolls up into
For a
the
man
2-footer.
who shouldn't have been in the Premier League since like 2018, should have been like banned for the fact how bad he was.
Yeah. A couple of chances for Villa. Watkins rips a volley, saved by Pope. Ings has a chance shortly after coming on, almost gets another goal against Burnley, his former club. Pope comes up with an amazing save, possibly one of the saves of the season on the point-blank header from Traore.
Well, he had that one earlier in the year. What was that? The Palace 3-3 game where his point blank. I forget who it was. Who like in the 6-yard box, like literally 2 feet away, like flicked it like right above Pope's head, and he just like instantly got his hand up there.
Yeah.
Nick Pope, too good.
Too good. He's been phenomenal. Burnley have a couple chances back-to-back. Really massive chances here. Roberts has a shot saved, hit off the post, and then the rebound falls, and it's passed over to Voot, who sees the open net. But Villa get the flying block. I forget who exactly it was that came in with the flying block. Might have been Mings. Absolutely vital block. Burnley, it could have been massive for them to get that goal. McGinn has another shot saved by Pope, and then Pope makes a save on Matty Cash from close range. And then, speaking of terrible referees, the 91st minute, Matthew Lowton gets a straight red card for a challenge. He won the ball, 1. 2, his studs were almost on the ground. Just barely off the ground. They weren't pointing up or anything. He did make contact on the follow through, but he won the ball clearly. Straight red card. Goes to VAR. They say, nope, that's the correct call. Absolutely embarrassing. Another moment of why Paul Tierney sucks. He has gone full Hollywood on us. He's flashing red cards. He is the man of the show. And he's a terrible referee. And there's a real issue with VAR here, not intervening on these blatantly incorrect calls. Cowards, I say. Cowards!
This man wants Burnley to stay up very bad.
And I cannot stand Paul Tierney. How many times, Paul, are you going to kill me? How many?
Too many.
How many? Absolute joke of a referee.
Finishes 1-1. Villa, the performance of their season encapsulated right there.
True.
Burnley, nice point. You needed it.
Really, they didn't deserve a point out of that match.
Speaking of needing a point, we are sitting here. Chelsea, Leicester, to the lineups. Mendy, Rudiger, Silva, Chalobah, Alonso, Jorginho, Conte, James, Lukaku, Pupisic. Poopy is sick because he's so bad.
Hey, stop that. I like Americans.
Ziyech. For Leicester, we have Schmeichel, Fofana, Evans, Amarte, Madison, Mendy, Castagna, Dewsbury Hall, Luke Thomas, Jamie Vardy, Kelechi and Nacho. Early on, Hakeem Ziyech, best chance Chelsea had through possession early, drags it just wide. And then once you know, inside 5 minutes, Leicester hoof it forward, and James Madison dribbles up and in for a rip on goal, and it goes in. And you just have to question where in the blue hell was Marcus Alonso on that play. Chelsea respond with some possession. Blast from Chalobah just over the bar. Lukaku played through. Plays too slow. Great tackle by Amarte, but Lukaku should have done better. Chelsea get their goal from over the top ball by James and a great volley by Alonso. So Chelsea kind of ramp it up kind of as the half went on, but I don't know. They were mainly the dominant team in the first half. So it goes in 1-1. Second half, Ziyech, free kick chance, not great. Through ball from James to Lukaku, squares it for a absolute tap-in, and Christian Pulisic scuffs it. Thoughts?
You know, it's tough out here. Yeah, that was bad. There's no two ways about it.
Did you see Tuchel after the game came out and said that he's like, we should have won this game. Christian Pulisic had to score. He just completely put a blast. Big Rudiger chance followed up by him going in 2-footed and getting all ball and getting a yellow as a result. Very Tony Rudiger way to go out.
Yeah.
Some Reece James and Trevor Chalobah chances at the end, but to no avail. Chelsea get their 1 point they needed. Clinch third place finally. Very strange year out of that team.
Yeah, somehow Chelsea end up in third.
It had to happen. They somehow, I guess, were the third best team. I don't know if anyone...
By default.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else really came close.
No.
Did you want to go through 5 guys that impressed you this week, or you just want to...
Let's talk about some 5 guys.
I didn't come up with 5 either. I didn't come up with 5 either.
We're just spitballing.
Yeah. For me...
Yep. You say one, I'll say one.
Jared Bowen. Big game.
Yeah.
Able to finish when he needs to.
Yeah, massive.
Would have had a hat trick if it wasn't virtually cleared off the line.
Mm-hmm. What a player. I'm going to say Nick Pope absolutely stood on his head, kept Burnley in that game.
Yes. And then just for you, I'm going to say Wissa.
I'm going to say Bruno G. Absolute boss in the midfield against Arsenal.
He's bossing.
Big boss.
He's boss man.
Boss man.
For me, I'm going to go with Mr. Madison.
All right.
He's finally kind of coming back.
Realizing his full potential.
Somewhat. somewhat. He's not fully there, but he's getting there. He's playing a lot better. Let's get a couple more.
Couple more. I'll give you a little maybe.
Teemu Pukki.
Despite scoring, he didn't play that good. I'm gonna say
It's got to be someone from Everton, right?
I'll say
Calvert-Lewin.
I'll say Pickford.
Okay, I'll say
Pickford came up big.
Calvert-Lewin because he was struggling a lot early this year. Now he's finally coming back on. So we'll call it there on our 5 guys. To the predictions
for the final match week of the season.
This shouldn't even be real.
This is ethereal.
All right, first one: Arsenal, Everton, Emirates.
I don't feel good about this, Hank.
What do you mean?
Everton
have nothing to play for.
I don't want the season to end like this. I don't want to. I don't want to lose to Everton after I've been bantering them off for the whole season.
The worst part would be if Norwich beat Tottenham and then you shit your pants.
I see that 100% happening. Get a draw against Everton or something. Ugh.
What are you looking at in this game?
I don't know. I feel like Arsenal are a little down.
Yeah, well, I
the
mean,
mojo. It's not a good place.
You can't overrate Everton too much. They're bound to crap all over themselves at one point, especially in midfield and defense. You can't count on Mr. Keane and Godfrey and these guys to be squeaky clean, not making errors. So Arsenal just need to make sure that they're going to attack, because I haven't seen the Arsenal attack that I like to see for a little while.
Yeah.
And that's going to have to happen. But yeah, no, Arsenal's midfield, I'd say a good rebound game from them. Let's go 2-1.
I'll say 2-2.
Wow. The absolute anti-jinx of anti-jinx.
You say this, but they haven't been working.
Brentford, Leeds, Brentford Community Stadium.
It's a big one.
What are you looking at?
Big one for Leeds.
What do you want to see out of Leeds?
They got to be absolutely firing on all cylinders. I want to see them. They always
whiff on chances, or they blow it somehow. They have to convert at least 2 chances.
They have to convert their chances. When they're blowing full steam and they're absolutely running riot, they have to score in those moments and capitalize. If they don't score in those moments, they're going to be out of luck when they lose steam later on in the game.
Yep.
Brentford is a good side at home. It's going to be a tough test, especially when you got Mr. Christian Eriksen pinging in balls behind that defense.
They're going to be, they, as in Leeds fans, are going to be stacking Brentford Stadium. I don't know if we can comprehend how much they're going to be. So many Leeds fans in there for an away day. It's going to be wild.
Yes, they're going to be shoving themselves in there.
Leeds had a big run-in with Brentford a couple of years back when they're trying to get promotion too, and they blew it, and then they had to play in the playoff.
Yeah.
This could be blow it at Brentford again, and now you're
down
in the championship.
Went down.
I'm going to give
Burning Ring of Championship.
I'm going to give Leeds the benefit of the doubt. 2-2.
I'm going to say 2-1 Brentford. I think Leeds' defense is so bad.
It is very bad.
So bad.
Brighton, West Ham.
Should be a good game. Both sides.
Yeah, nice little close out the year game.
Playing some decent football.
One of these games is going to be like the game of the week, and we're not going to be expecting it. This is a top candidate, and the other one is Leicester Southampton.
I always throw in Crystal Palace United shout in there. Never forget that 5-5 draw versus West Brom.
Yeah, that was an all-timer.
Was it 5-5 or 3-3?
5-5.
5-5, yeah.
Brighton, West Ham. I'm going to go with Brighton. I don't feel great about it. We're going to go with a 1-0 Brighton victory at home to close out the year, even though their home form was kind of bad. Even though West Ham were playing a little better to close out the year. I'm going to change it. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
I was going to say 1-1 draw.
Yep, I'm going to have to go with
Handshake.
that. Yes, absolutely. Burnley, Newcastle, Turf Moor.
Massive game. Burnley fans, you have to be massive.
Come
on, lads. Come on.
You could have thought before the year that Newcastle, Burnley, this could be for who's staying up.
Yeah.
And now, Newcastle, they're a top-tier club.
Yep, they're bathed in the oil money, drenched in it even. Burnley, a respectable club, an honorable club, despite the fact that they sacked Sean Dyche?
No, they're not. There's no respect for him anymore.
Yeah, true.
They don't even deserve Mike Jackson.
This has to be the performance of all performances out of Burnley. We got to see Cornet on fire. We got to see Voot if he starts. I feel like he probably won't, but whoever's playing, Barnes, Rodriguez, they got to be ripping at their chances, chomping at the bit.
I'm going with because Newcastle's just so solid. But it's at Turf Moor and Burnley have it all to play for. I'm going 1-1. Therefore, my official prediction is that both Burnley and Leeds draw and Burnley stays up, is what I'm going to say.
I'm going to say Burnley 2-0. Come on, Burnley.
What happened to your guy, I was going to say Sean Dyche, Mr. Jesse Marsh? What happened to marshing on together?
Yeah, true.
You're cheering against to go down. Chelsea, Watford, this could be a spectacular game, or it could be 0-0, or it could be... I'm leaning towards a Chelsea drubbing for no reason.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
The
But then you could
drubbing.
see a Watford... Wouldn't it be Watford-esque to like win this game for no reason?
It would be. The final game when there's like absolutely nothing to play for and hasn't been for a couple weeks.
Well, good thing Chelsea sat Mount midweek so he could play this game. I'm going to go Chelsea 4-1.
I'm going to say Chelsea 5-0.
No way. Chelsea keeps a clean sheet. In what world?
Yep.
Palace United.
Winner gets Wan-Bissaka.
You probably want to throw this game then.
I feel like Palace could do with Bissaka back. Won't be bad.
No, dude, you got Joel Ward. I like Joel Ward and Tyreek Mitchell better.
Well, Tyreek Mitchell is on the other side, though.
Yeah, that's why I said Joel Ward.
Yeah.
I like him better.
Oh. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
You know. Wan-Bissaka
I'm out
still a
on
young man.
Wan-Bissaka. I watch that guy.
He just doesn't fit in at United, but who
What are you talking
does,
about?
honestly?
He's got to be way up the pitch. Even though he's a legit fullback, not a wing back, a legit fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2-2.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. I would like to see a Palace nice little win here to close out the year, but
That's Selhurst.
what are you going to do?
That would be nice.
Conor Gallagher last game at Palace.
Yep.
Leicester, Southampton, 9-0 on the cards, perhaps. King Power Stadium.
We need it.
Jamie Vardy's gonna score. All right. Yeah, Southampton's just not looking all that sharp, and they have me worried going into next year right now. We're in the same spot we were Southampton coming into this year. They literally just put it together for like a 2-month stretch. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, all right. And then they just don't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Leicester 3-0.
I'm going to say 3-1 Leicester.
Liverpool Wolves.
Big match. Liverpool.
I don't
must
think
win.
Wolves have anything left in them.
I guess it's not must win.
Yeah. They could draw. No, because City would win on goal difference.
Yeah, right. Must win for Liverpool. Yep.
That would be funny if City lost and Liverpool drew and City won the title even though they
On
bottled
goal
it.
differential. Ugh.
Yeah, I just don't think Wolves have enough in them. Even if they're gonna just be packing in the box, we'll go with 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I like 2-0 as well. Wolves don't really care, but hey, throw on Chiquinho. He could
City,
get you a goal.
Villa. Does good Villa show up? I don't think so.
It's possible. It's possible.
I'm okay with their midfield against City. I like, McGinn and Douglas Luiz. I think they'll be able to handle themselves. The defense, not going to have Konsa, so it's going to be Callum Chambers, which is fine. It's tolerable. I don't know. To be pinned in there the whole time, it might be
I like
tough.
it, though, if they roll with that 5 deep midfield.
Yeah.
I like that.
I just don't know. with their attack if they can get one.
Oh, man, they've been pinging long balls.
I'm
lately
gonna
up to Ollie
go. I'm gonna go
Watkins.
City 1-0.
I'm going to say 3-3, draw, Liverpool win the title.
No
The
way.
title. Liverpool
How
win
about Norwich
the
City?
quadruple.
How about Norwich City and Tottenham? Here comes the anti-jinx. Here comes Tottenham 5-0.
It probably will be Tottenham 5-0, honestly. Norwich sucks. They suck.
Don't say that
Even
about Dean Smith.
when they get chances, they suck. It's nothing against Mr. Dean. Mr. Dean Smith. They just need a revamp of their squad. I mean, they brought in a bunch of guys who are just like not good.
Yeah.
That was kind of a waste of money.
It's a bunch of random guys. Tottenham, yeah, and this one, I can't see them getting Norwich's best chances generally come on the counter or some kind of fast build-up play. I think Tottenham will be able to handle that. But then again, it's at Carroll Road, and you never know. Tottenham are Bottle FC, it seems like a lot of times.
It would be funny, but I don't think it'll happen.
You know, they say Spursy. We'll go Tottenham 2-1.
I'll say Tottenham 3-0.
There's gonna be a little fear as Norwich get one. And then
Get the blood pressure pumping.
Yeah. So you're saying Arsenal 5th, Tottenham 4th, like I am.
Yeah.
But you're saying Liverpool win the title. I'm saying City win the title. And then we both have Leeds going down and Burnley staying up.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know. Those are two massive matches, though, that for both Leeds and Burnley, honestly, they'll both probably lose, and Burnley will stay up on goal differential.
Goal differential, yeah. Well, it pays to not lose games like 8-0.
Yes, true.
Leeds. You stupid bastards. You dumb, you idiots. Do you have a nice prediction to close out the season?
Yeah, here's my prediction.
Actually, give us 3. The last episode.
Yeah, well,
We'll do one kind of basic one intermediate one, and then really just off the walls.
One wild one. Okay.
Yeah.
Ollie Watkins gonna score against City. Long ball up over the top. That crap City backline. Second one is that
Jamie Vardy brace.
Jay Rodriguez is going to score
Wow.
90th minute.
Why are half your predictions Jay Rodriguez?
I just believe in J-Rod. And then my third prediction, my really out there prediction,
You're clicking away, brother.
my third prediction is that who's going to score for Brighton?
Bobby Sanchez off a corner.
No. Neil Maupay.
No, he doesn't even play. He doesn't even play.
He's going to get subbed on.
No, that doesn't happen. We're way past that. This is Danny Welbeck's team now.
All right, Hank. Just for fun's sake, you give me a prediction, or 2 or 3, however many you want, just
Okay.
for the lulz.
Okay.
Let's see who gets closer. I'm keeping receipts, Hank.
Yep. Keeping
receipts.
Keeping precise. Let's see. I think Newcastle score first and Burnley come back to get their draw. Whether it's 1 goal or 2 goals, I said 1, but
Okay.
Burnley come back to get a result.
Okay.
We're going to say that Lukaku and Mount score for Chelsea.
Mm.
And we're going to say that we're going to say the title sealing goal comes in Man City from Joao Cancelo.
Mic drop.
Yep.
Mic drop.
There it is.
That has been another episode of the Premiership Perusal podcast. tune in next time as we break it all down and
Matchweek 38.
see where the dust settles.
Matchweek 38 next week. Weeks after that, we're going to have our season end recap show. After that, we're going to be breaking down top half, bottom half table, recapping every team's season in depth. Little dive into looking ahead in this season. We got a lot of content coming up in this summer. Even though we're robbed of a FIFA World Cup this
Yes.
summer. Robbed.
Robbed.
But what can we say? We'll still be here supplying the content. Until next time. Adios.
We love you, buddy. We do.
Who are we? Tune on me. Who are